I chose this poem because I think it has a valuable message. I also enjoyed the rhythm of the poem. It was entertaining to read. I read it a bunch of times and I enjoyed it more each time. The poem is just written in a very interesting way. There are also many messages that appear the more I read it, and the poem seems to be intentional in every way. The author is clearly very passionate about this poem and its meaning. This work may be a masterpiece. It is inspiring to read because it is really a great poem. I relate to this poem because of the message. I think this poem was written as a way for the author to express his disgust for the violence of war. There are many examples which show that the soldiers that are in hell for killing, the irony that the enemies become friends, the line about the pity of war, or nations trek from progress or regress um, because of war. Um, I relate to this message. I hold a similar viewpoint where violence and war are something I don't want to take. I don't want to be a part of, and I wish other people would do the same. Another sub message in the poem that I relate to is the idea that the soldier has this dream of telling the truth about the tragedy of war, but in the poem he says that other men laugh at him for this. In the line, "For by my glee might many men have laughed," meaning he is happy to pursue his dream, but other men laugh at him. I think that the ridicule he receives is something that I and everyone else fears, as no one wants to be laughed at for having a dream. Another sub message I like is the part about service. The soldier is passionate about his dream, and he wants to tell the truth, and he's determined, and he understands the problem, and he knows how he wants to fix it. This inspires me to it inspires me to hear someone talk passionately about their dream. This poem evokes the feeling of happiness for me because the soldiers are compassionate towards each other. I also feel sadness and disgust because the soldiers had to fight in war. For poetic devices, the author uses cacophony and euphony in the following lines as a way to build and release tension. So, with piteous recognition in fixed eyes, lifting distressful hands as if to bless, and by his smile I knew that sullen hall, by his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. So the first two lines are awkward to read, which makes it a cacophony, but the information is important for the reader to understand the character. And then the second two lines are very pleasant sounding, almost like a melody, making it a euphony. And the information is important again for the setting. And they also use repetition with smile. They repeat smile and they repeat new. There's consonants with hall and hell, and alliteration with sullen and stood. Um, the other literary poetic device is the poem is written in iambic pentameter with 10 syllables in each line, which gives the poem this undulating up and down feeling. Um, it uses heroic couplet form, but the rhymes are not always perfect, and they're sometimes near rhymes, such as when he rhymes hair with hour. Um, the last line in the poem has 4 syllables, and that leaves the reader with a lot of tension, and it's really fitting for such a powerful piece. So that concludes my presentation, and I thank you for listening.